When you hear Valentine's Day, often you hear flowers, cards, and chocolates. Those are the things that come to mind. But our next guest is here to encourage you to think outside the box. This year, it is such a pleasure to welcome Barry Brown. Barry, it's good to see you.
Claudia, great to be back.
You're like our holiday master. You always have the best ideas.
Well, it's so fun.
Yeah, and to really get to doing things that are fun and that we don't always do. So before you share some of your creative gift ideas, can you share a little more about the history, how Valentine's letters came to be?
Well, Valentine's is a really unique holiday that was based on a person named Valentinus back in the 300s.
Okay.
Now the irony is, we think it's like this one specific special thing and then that happened, like Christmas. I mean, there's lots of different ways that it all comes around. So Valentinus was one of 3 people that were martyred on February 14th in the year 300 something.
Oh my goodness.
For their beliefs. But one of them, when they were in jail, wrote a letter to the jailer's daughter who was blind. And the night before he was, she got her sight back. Oh. And he wrote a letter to her and signed it, "Your Valentine."
Oh my goodness.
And that was one of the ways that Valentine started.
That I did not know that, but my daughter did have a project the other day, and she was talking all about Cupid and how Cupid was the son of some god, but it represented love, and she ended up doing a project on that. So Valentine's is everywhere, everybody, and you have a creative spin on the traditional Valentine this morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what I love to do is mess around with paper, and ever since I was a kid, it was all about paper. In 3rd grade, I remember the art lady coming around with her little cart like once a week. I'm like, oh, good, we get to play.
We get to play.
And we just had strips of paper, and so I folded one in half and kind of curled it over and kind of hooked the little thing so it kind of looked like a heart, and I gave it to her. It was just a little strip of paper. She had tears in her eyes.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's about the sentiment, about you know, the intention and the love that can be shared with just a piece of paper.
Counts. And a lot of times I feel that the kind of creativity you bring to the show is very nostalgic of what we did as kids, and a lot of it had to do with paper crafts.
That's right, and even way back when, these kind of paper crafts, these trees are called Scherenschnitte, which is a German word for paper cutting, but it came from a German and Swedish tradition of cutting paper like this. This tree right here is
really
from that
pretty.
era.
Okay, really?
I mean, the design is from the era.
The design.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's a little bit more like hand done.
Okay.
And that was so special, is to do things by hand. That's kind of how the whole letter writing and Valentine giving was by hand. But in the 1800s, when mass printing, when color printing came in, then they could make a bunch of cards. And so then people stopped making their own thing and started relying on card makers and flowers, and even Cadbury from England back in the 1800s.
Of course.
They said, you know what we should do is put our chocolates in a heart box. And that sold a lot of chocolates.
A
and
lot
as a matter
of chocolates,
of fact, during the Valentine season, there are 60 million pounds of chocolate.
I believe it. I'm in there with those 60 million.
Me too.
Okay, Barry, how did you ever get this to move like this? I mean, this is beautiful, and what are we doing today? Because we don't have a lot of time.
Magic. Well, these are cut by me, but I'd love to show you how to cut these. These are the things that I'm going to be offering at my Make It Take It.
Okay.
So I have patterns, and I fold the paper and I staple it so it stays nice and sturdy.
So it stays, yeah.
And then you just follow along the lines of cutting.
So this one's not completely done, so we're just going to finish it off?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about this class that people can attend and learn how to make these awesome paper creations.
Well, on February 14th,
oh, Valentine's
at a place
Day.
in Arvada called Thane's Table, they're hosting us to do a Make It Take It party. And so we're going to be making these little cutout Valentines like I've hung on the tree here.
Yes.
But also I have these white trees that can be had, and these little like little gray doves and flowers and leaves and hearts that you can glue onto a tree like this.
Okay.
And it's kind of a mix of hand done and me done.
Yeah, forget about spending hundreds of dollars and
right.
getting the generic gifts. Make something handmade. I mean, this really is special. And what is the best way for people to connect with you? Because you know you've been on the show many times, and people actually ask, where is Barry from? Like, how do we connect with him?
Oh, well, that's really nice. I have a website called Barry Brown Creative.
Okay.
And there's a page on there called Make It Take It.
Make it, take it. Or you could just join the class that he's got coming up and make these wonderful paper creations for Valentine's
And isn't
Day.
it cute? Like you've done that, right?
It's
I mean, I cut
adorable.
some of it, you cut
Yeah.
some of it, and then you can give it to the person that you're thinking of. And it's not necessarily just romantic love, like Chaucer wrote in his poem in the 1300s. That's when romantic writing started happening. But it's for friends as well.
That's
like,
right.
You know
It
the
can be
show
for friends.
Park and
Yes,
Recreation?
of course I do.
They started a tradition called Galentine's Day.
That's right.
And that was just shared between women.
Between women.
There's also
so many
Valentine's Day and other things that can be fun between friends, because it's not just romantic love and it's not just February 14th. It's about
That's true.
sharing how you feel. Like, shower the people you love with love.
That's right.
Show them the way that you feel.
That's the main message this Valentine's Day. Okay, now tell you what, you can learn more about creating your own paper cut Valentines at Barry's next Make It, Take It event. It's happening on Valentine's Day at Thane's Table in Arvada. If you want more info, just go to the website. It's barrybrowncreative.com.